What's going on?
This week's episode is brought to you by Body Scare. All natural body care products so good, they're scary.
Michelle.
I made it.
You made it.
I'm on my phone though. My internet's out. It says there are no Wi-Fi networks available.
Oh no.
Well,
I have no idea what's going on.
where did those networks go? How dare them?
Knocked over my water.
The do what with your water?
My cat just knocked over my water.
Cats are good at that. Did she do it on purpose? Did you go like that? If it's that cat that tried to kill us, that's that cat's nature. So I know. It's happening here.
No Wi-Fi network.
It's weird. I don't know.
I don't know. You excited to talk about your top 5 screen queens?
I'm super, super excited. Yay! Sorry,
Yay.
I'm not as excited because I just got off work not too long ago. So
Yeah, work is stupid.
yeah, pays the bills though.
Yeah, it does. That is a fact. We like facts here.
Yes, we like facts.
We're cool at the Zompire podcast. Hello.
What's
Hello.
up? Oh,
Hello.
hey, I can't see
Sherry.
I can't see the yeah, I can't see the comments from my phone.
Fantabulous peeps. Love it.
Yeah.
Michelle, how are you feeling?
Well, I still have a cough and some congestion. It's been like 2 weeks I've been sick, but today I felt better than I have in like 2 weeks. I actually had energy today. Had a good time at work. So,
Yeah. Let those good times roll.
Yes, we did.
So I wanted to start the show off with an explanation of what a screen queen is by Wikipedia standard. Is that all right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
A screen queen, which is a wordplay on screen queen, is an actress who is prominent and influential in horror films, either through a notable appearance or recurring roles.
Does she have to scream?
It does not say she has to scream.
No, not anymore.
So it's more of it is a figurative term then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's above my pay grade, but I'll go with it.
So, in case everybody's wondering, if you forgot, last week there was an awesome debate at the end of our show about Jamie Lee Curtis and whether or not she is considered a scream queen, which led to this week's episode of us talking about our top 5 scream queens. Each of us. So each of us came up with 5. And we're going to just go through our lists and talk about them and probably get into another debate because I know Vlad has Jamie Lee Curtis on his list, which it voids his list. Like, it just makes it untrustworthy, right? You can't trust somebody who has a non-screen queen on their screen queen list.
Should we start at number 5 and we all say our number 5?
Are they in ranking order?
Mine are in order. Mine are in no particular order.
Okay. Well, I'm sure some of our lists will overlap.
Yeah.
So, Patty, start us off.
Okay. I'll start off with the wonderful lady that I spoiled last week that I told you at the end of our episode was going to be on this list. So I might as well just get her out of the way. Barbara Crampton. You can't fucking go wrong with Barbara Crampton. She is fantastic. She's in some of my favorite horror movies. She's dedicated to horror. She loves her fans. She understands what horror is, and it's been good to her. She should be on. If she's not on all 3 of our lists, then something's wrong.
To be fair, I've probably only seen her in Chopping Mall, obviously Reanimator. I'm looking at her IMDb right now. And a lot of it I just haven't seen. Oh, she was in Lords of Salem. So she's not on my list. I will say that, but I wouldn't disagree with her being on your list.
Would
Right.
she be in your Would she be in your top 10?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And
That's
she's aged nicely. She's easy on the eyes, and she's a wonderful person who I think all of us have met through Crypticon at this point.
Yeah.
She was
Right.
there.
And she's great at cons. She's fabulous with the fans, and her panels and interviews. She's fucking hilarious. That lady will make you laugh. Like, she's got stories to tell, especially when you get her and Jeffrey Combs together.
Yeah.
It's a good fucking time.
Actually, it was like 4 years ago at Crypticon. I was able to get Barbara and Combs on a 11x17.
Nice. Very
And
nice,
Combs-
sir. Very nice.
Jesse met her on the elevator at this last Crypticon. She's so nice.
Yes. Jesse.
I know. I
is
saw
so
her
great.
and Bonnie Aaron sitting at breakfast together, and I was like, I want to be at that table. What do you got,
Alright,
Michelle?
Oh, no, go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, I am going to say I just didn't put them in any order. Let's go with Sigourney Weaver,
Oh,
who played Ellen Ripley in 5 Alien movies.
Yep. And she did a fantastic job.
Exactly.
Ripley is probably one of the strongest female characters in any.
and let's
Indie
not forget she
franchise.
was also in Ghostbusters.
She was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
You know,
Sigourney
I just
Weaver.
worked on a Ghostbusters fan film a couple weekends ago.
Let's also remember she was in The Cabin in the Woods, which is an awesome movie.
You're
Yep.
in a cabin in the woods.
No, he's in his apartment at home.
Mom's in a cabin in the woods.
She might be.
Uh,
This might be.
But yeah, I could see Sigourney Weaver. She's done a lot of stuff, a lot of horror, and
Yeah, I don't know if she fits my definition of Scream Queen, but she is fantastic.
she is a total badass.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the Alien movies kind of straddle the line between sci-fi and horror. I think that's why she kind of straddles the line between being a scream queen or not.
Yeah,
But-
and
She
I
is
don't.
a final girl. You cannot deny that.
She's a what?
A final girl.
A
For
final
sure.
girl. Yeah. That you could definitely say she is for
Yes.
sure. I don't know Scream Queen though, just because I don't think has she ever been to cons? Does she support horror? Does she like the genre? Does she even like the Alien movies that she was in? I don't know enough about her on that to like
I
know.
don't either.
Well, definition wise,
It says influential in that definition. Has she been influential other than just people liking her role?
I don't know.
well, it also says reoccurring roles.
Yeah, she
What's
reoccurred what, 3 aliens?
5.
Yeah.
5 of them.
She wasn't in all of them, was she?
She was in 5
She
of
was
them.
in 1, 2, and 3. So Aliens, and Alien Cubed. She was in the Resurrection one or whatever that movie
Uh-huh.
was called. So
And then
she's in
something else.
4. She wasn't in any of the prequels. So she was in at least 4 of them, yeah. 4 or 5. Yeah.
And also 2 Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Alien,
See, that
I'm
keeps
sorry.
us
Alien 3.
I'm sorry, her role in Ghostbusters is probably cooler than the one in Alien, even though Ripley's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
She was awesome in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it looks like she was in 4 Alien films.
Yeah.
All right, well, you want to hear one of mine?
I
Mhm.
do.
This is in no order, but
Can you just say Jamie Lee Curtis because we all know it's there?
Linnea Quigley,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Demons,
Yeah.
Sorority Babes and Slime Ballerama, Creepazoids, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Pumpkinhead 2, like even Clownado,
Yeah.
Clownado,
You
oh
can't
my
forget
God.
about Clownado.
Nightmare
So-
on
I've seen that movie.
4,
Oh yeah.
It's so bad.
Cyberland.
So she's not on my list, but she should be. She'd definitely be my top 10. And she
Yeah.
would be on my list of top 5 if I didn't I was telling Vlad this before we went. I intentionally tried to get some newer, like up and coming girls on there as well. So there's a lot of like the 80s like girls and 70s that I didn't put on this list that would probably be on my list if I wasn't trying to be like really. And Linnea Quigley would definitely be on. She was a hard drop. Like I dropped her for somebody a more recent lady, but Linnea Quigley is definitely top 10.
Yeah,
or if I was doing 80s only, fuck yeah.
Ripley is influential for sure.
Good job, Jesse.
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, I'll do one of my more current ones. This is actually who I dropped Linnea Quigley for, so I'm probably gonna get smacked in the face for this one for dropping Linnea for this. But I dropped Linnea Quigley to put Samara Weaving on my list. I absolutely love her. She's an up and comer. All her horror movies are great. She loves the industry. She's done a lot for it. She's got some new horror movies coming out. She is fantastic.
So
and if you haven't seen Mayhem, watch it. It's one of the best movies in the world.
Yeah, she did Scream, The Babysitter, which is awesome. Babysitter 2, Ready or Not, which is amazing. Yep. Guns Akimbo, Mayhem. Yeah, she's definitely. So I had her on my honorable mention list.
Yeah.
You have an honorable mention list?
Yeah, I have one of those too.
Oh my gosh.
Which Linnea Quigley is on. She's on my honorable mention list.
Yeah, Samara she's done a lot of great work, but I think it's still left to be established that she's an absolute like a scream queen. Jesse says Samara's absolutely a queen. Her scream is the best in horror.
Fuck yeah, she's got such a good scream. And directors utilize that shit.
What's that?
I said, and directors and shit utilize her scream. They I feel like they're like, oh, Samara's going to play this role. We need to put some more screams in there because she screams so much in her movies.
Her uncle is Hugo Weaving from The Matrix.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, she was definitely on my list of like up and comers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily honorable mention, probably up and comers.
Yeah. Yeah, I dropped Linnea for her.
Okay. I mean, some are classics, some are going to be classics. The Babysitter was awesome.
Ready or Not, which I think that was Jesse that just posted that. Ready or Not and Mayhem are my two favorite movies she's in. She's so good in those movies.
I want to do one of my honorable mentions, if that's okay.
Aren't they supposed to come at the end?
No. Well, yeah, but didn't you just do one?
No, Samara Weaving is in my actual list.
You were the one who mentioned honorable mention, Vlad.
Yeah. No, I had Linnea Quigley on my list, and I dropped her for Samara Weaving.
Okay.
She's an actual like top 5 for me.
Okay. Then I'll do another one of mine. How about that?
Do it.
Yeah. Do it.
Let's talk about Marilyn Burns.
Yeah, let's talk about her. Fuck yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah.
Well, she was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. She had a recurring in Texas 3 or 4, The Next Generation. Eaten Alive, Helter Skelter, The Butcher Boys, Crocodile. I
haven't seen Crocodile. I watched Alligator, but I haven't seen Crocodile.
She was actually in American Psycho too, and Horror Business. But because I'm so obsessed with Texas, and she was like my first introduction to a scream queen.
Yeah,
it was hard for me to not put her on my list.
Yeah, right. No, she's a good addition. Good job. I like that.
Well, and she was also there was another movie that she was in, but I'm not seeing it in her IMDb. Yeah, I don't know why it's not here. I can't remember what it is though. But yeah, scream queen in my opinion. She was the first, you think 1974, there really wasn't a scream queen kinda, right?
Yeah.
Like a reoccurring.
Yeah. It didn't exist back then, like the term, and
We didn't call him that then.
yeah.
But that wasn't a term then, yeah.
Well, what do you got, Michelle?
How about Adrienne King, who plays Alice on Friday the 13th, 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like my first, I guess. So I have a very soft spot for Friday the 13th Part 1 and everybody in it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Adrian, what's her last name?
King.
King, that's right.
Adrienne Queen tonight.
Yes.
Scream
Yes.
Queen.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Friday 13th, Part 1, 2, the final chapter, Dead Girl in Apartment 3, The Butterfly Room, Part 6, Killer Therapy, Psychic Experiment. I never heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
She was in Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, she can. I'll totally give her the title. Yeah, she can be there.
Vlad's like, sold.
If you're in a movie with what's his name?
Travolta.
Travolta. You get it.
You get it.
Who's in
Jamie Lee
Backline?
Curtis is
Opening
in a
scene
movie
of
with
Jaws.
Travolta.
Oh yeah.
All right, Pat, you're next. What do you got for me?
I got another newbie that I'll just talk about. I don't know if it's me or Maya Goth. Probably Maya Goth. I love her. People hate her scream or her voice, but I think she's done a lot for horror just in the short amount of time she's been in there. And she's also advocating for horror to be in the Oscars. Like that's a fight she's working on. She loves her fans. She loves the industry. And she makes fantastic films. I love the Maxine or the Pearl trilogy. The third one's not out yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say
I like the two. She was fucking awesome in the remake of Suspiria. So I mean, she's crushing it. In Infinity Pool, she was fucking twisted as shit. She's dark. She's just all over the place. She's definitely like Scream Queen top 5 for me.
Well, and apparently too, I don't know if she's currently working on, but she's going to be in the new Blade movie.
Yep.
I don't know if you know that. And then there's also apparently talks of her being in a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, I read a little bit about that. I was a little confused when I read about that, but I mean, obviously, I would want to see her in one, especially old like remake. I love the Universal classic monsters. Like they're the founding fathers of horror. So
yeah, for sure. That she was actually on my like up and comers list, my honorable mentions. For all those reasons, like the X, Pearl, and what is the other one? Triple X,
Maxine.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know what I go because it has the 3 X's in the name. Yeah, and you're right, the Suspiria was badass.
Dude, she crushed it in Suspiria. And that was such like that remake was so scary. I was like, oh my god, like not scary as in terrifying, but like we've talked about it. Like I love watching remakes. Like I love to see other people's like thoughts and processes or like how their take on stories. But when they announced the Suspiria remake, I was actually scared. I was like, oh my god, please don't fuck this movie up. And it was so good. And she was one of the main reasons it was so good.
What do you got for me, Michelle? Let's hear a good one.
A good one. Well, how about Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street?
Nancy. Heather Langenkamp. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I think she's Nancy definitely worth being in the top 5 for sure.
Yes.
I mean, what do you know her from outside of
That's it. She was like in like one other movie other than Nightmare.
Well, she was in Shocker.
Yeah.
Shoot,
That's it,
she
I
was in
think, right?
Hellraiser Judgment.
Was she?
I apparently
I
need to
guess that.
rewatch Hellraiser Judgment.
Yeah. I really thought she was like in Nightmare on Elm Street 1, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and Shocker. That's like the only movies I thought she was in. Horror movies. That's
Well, I'm gonna say I'm obsessed with The Outsiders, and she was in The Outsiders. Apparently, she was in 2017's Truth or Dare. But that's all it looks like as far as horror movies. But I would say she would probably be in my top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she just played such an iconic role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for her too sometimes because she carried the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Not Freddy, but Freddy like outshadowed her and outshined her so much, and she didn't get the recognition she should have got from that movie. Because if you think about it, Freddy's not in that movie that much,
No.
and she literally is the backbone of that movie. She carried that movie.
Well, the original. You're talking about the original Nightmare?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the story was about Nancy, her character,
Yeah.
and
I know.
it didn't give you any background to Freddy until later in the films, and so that really was based around her and her friends, and it was just like this, almost like a Jason Voorhees, character where this didn't have a lot of backstory until later in the films,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
unlike Jason, Freddy like blew up in that role. I mean, Jason blew up too eventually, but
I think the difference was.
But Freddy, Freddy had his own talk show or talk line, like 1-900 number. He had like commercials everywhere. He was sponsoring shit for what? Like he was maybe in the movie for a total like 15 minutes.
But I think the difference between them two is that Jason's silent and Freddy has all these awesome one-liners, and you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to promote a character that has personality. You have to sell the personality, and Jason and Michael didn't have personalities.
They didn't have personalities.
All right, I got a good one.
What's that?
You ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sarah Berry from Evil Dead 2 did some great screaming in that film. Definitely agreed. But I'm gonna go with Mrs. D. Wallace.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. D. Wallace.
You just took her off my list.
The Howling, Critters, Frighteners, The Hills Have Eyes, Three from Hell.
So let's combine ours real
E.T.
Let's combine ours real quick because my next one is D. Wallace too. So let's just
Hansel and Gretel, 13 Fanboy, Critters 3, The House of the Devil, Ouija House, Halloween, the Rob Zombie. What else we got? Death House, The Devil's Rejects. There's other stuff, but nothing. House of Dolls.
Like 50,000 horror movies that she's been in. I mean, even small stuff like there's like a Christmas horror that she's in called like Red Christmas. Like nobody knows about that movie, but that movie's fucking rad, and it's
fucking red.
Red. It's Red Christmas. It's red. It's fucking red.
And she was in Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Obviously, E.T.
Did you already say Cujo?
Jeepers Creepers. She was in Reborn.
Cujo was said.
Okay.
I never watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn, but she was in that. Was she like the only good thing about that movie?
Probably. The director's a piece of shit, so we know.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's not the same guy.
Oh,
Reborn? That's the remake. That's like, Jeepers Creepers Reborn is like they rebooted the series.
Oh god, with a new director.
It's not the same guy who did the original trilogy. That guy's a piece of shit.
Got it. What do you got for me, Pat?
D. Wallace. That was my next one. That's why I said let's just combine ours because my next one was D. Wallace.
Let's go, Michelle.
I had D. Wallace on mine too. So.
Oh shit! We have one where all three of us picked her.
We all agreed.
Yeah, that's how fucking awesome D. Wallace is, though, right? Like we all have such different tastes, and she was on all three of our lists.
She's the only one that's made all three of our lists so far.
Yep.
All right.
Unless you're counting your
honorable mentions.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could count that because then Samara Weaving would be on there.
Right.
And Barbara Crampton.
But we
and,
didn't all agree
Adrienne
on that.
Barbeau.
You and I agreed on that.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
All right.
I don't have an honorable mention list, so.
Is it who's up next? I got one more.
Go, Pat.
This one, I had to put her on. She's not as new as Samara Weaving or Maya Goth, but she's not from the era of Barbara Crampton and all of those fun ladies. She's right in the middle, straight in the middle. Catherine Isabel, I absolutely love her, and she works with the Saska sisters, so y'all know how much I love their films.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the movies that they did is one of my all-time favorites, and she was the star. She's probably, for my definition of screen queen, she's probably the one that doesn't fit exactly on my list because she hasn't really come out and said that she loves horror, but she does support. She has been to cons and she does support it, but she hasn't really said she's a fan of horror, but she says she's a fan of darker characters and darker movies. So I kind of think that counts.
Yeah.
And she really like Mary from American Mary. That's like her favorite role she's ever done. She embraces that role and loves the fact that people dress up as Mary for Halloween and stuff. So yeah. I think she kind of fits my definition of screen queen. So I added her to the list. Plus I love Ginger Snaps. That trilogy is fucking awesome. She's just a fun lady who does great movies.
Yeah, she's got Ginger Snaps 2, Ginger Snaps Back, American Mary, the See No Evil movie with Kane, the wrestler.
She was in 2.
Let's not forget Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
Disturbing Behavior.
Yeah.
She was in the 2002 Carrie. She was in the Snoop Dogg movie Bones.
Yeah.
30 Days of Night, Dark Days. What else? That's about all that's worth mentioning. No, I'm just saying like horror-wise.
Yeah. No, I get you. No, that's my list though. Barbara Crampton, Samara Weaving, Maya Goth, Dee Wallace, and Catherine Isabel.
What about Nev Campbell?
I don't think Nev Campbell's a screen queen. She's fantastic in the movie Scream. All right. What was that last comment?
She was in 5 Scream movies.
Okay, cool.
Crystal, what's up, monster? I'm trying to catch up on messages.
Gotcha.
Yes, thank you, Jesse.
Great list, Pat.
Thank you, Rebecca.
All right. I do have to say, much to my chagrin, much to your chagrin, Patrick, that I do agree with Vlad on Laurie Strode.
Oh, boo. That's okay. You guys can be wrong. That's fine.
9
Did you put 8 Halloween movies? We counted them last week. Did we count wrong last week?
I don't know.
Because I was the one counting.
I looked it up. I found 9.
Are we just counting? Are we only counting Halloween movies? Is that what you want to do?
I was only counting.
She did like last week. We probably counted wrong because it was me, but I always count things wrong. But last week we said she did 11 horror movies and 8 of them were Halloween.
I think she's done more. I think she's done like
I see more. 7 Halloween movies. Escape from L.A.
That's not horror.
Escape from
that's not
Terror Train.
Yep.
Do we count Terminator? No, it is 8 Halloweens. It is 8 Halloweens. Do we count Terminator?
No.
Do we count the Fog? Prom Night.
Yep.
I
guess 9, 10, and 11.
No to Knives Out.
Yep.
What about Freaky Friday? I don't know, man. She's done a lot of horror films, and she's just like, I mean, when you look up her name, like that's all you see. Like
Yeah.
she was the epitome. We
No,
got to.
I am not denying the fact that she's a great actress and that she did great in those horror movies. Never will I deny that.
Jesse says Dee Wallace, Danielle Harris,
Danielle
Barbara
Harris, Barbara
Crampton,
Crampton,
Heather Lane,
Lynn
Candy,
Shay. Lynn
honorable
Shay
mention,
is
Marlene,
definitely honorable mention, and she almost made my top 5.
Crystal Beck agrees with us.
Laurie Strode.
I have seen that. What's her name again? Oh yeah, Michelle of the Dead in a horror movie or two, maybe an up and coming scream queen.
Yeah.
I gotta put you on my list. I do want to talk
Oh.
about Nev Campbell for a second, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. One did Scream, all of them, right? The Craft.
Yeah, The Craft is so cool.
Um,
That's about it for horror.
That's not it.
yeah,
What else has she been in that's horror?
you're not wrong, but I feel like she she kept the Scream Queen genre going through the 90s. Like she was just like one of the most prominent in horror films through the early mid 90s into the
She's
2000s.
like what we had. She's what we had at the time.
I think she's a final girl, but not a Scream Queen.
She's been playing that character for like 35 years.
She's a fantastic final girl. Yeah. Probably the best. One of the best final girls for sure.
You got one?
That's all I got.
Who went last?
I think
Patty,
we should have all done our 5 honorable mentions. Lynn Shay was on Jesse's list. An honorable mention that would have been on my list if I didn't recently find out that she could possibly be a bigot would be Danielle Harris. She would be in my top 5, but I removed her until I find out if she's actually a bigot or not, because if she's a bigot, she'll never be on my top 5 again. But her work is fantastic. You can't deny her work.
So this was one of mine honorable mentions that Steve just brought up. Adrienne Barbeau. She did The Fog, Creep Show, Swamp Thing. She was actually hold on one second. I want to find it.
Adrienne Barbeau is one of my honorable mentions too.
So she did Swamp Thing, The Fog, again, Escape from New York, Creep Show, Cannibal Women. I forget what it's called. Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Yeah, sure.
Tales of Halloween, Hellblazers.
That's a good movie.
Werewolves, Ring of Darkness. She was in the Rob Zombie Halloween remake. Malevolence 3, Death House. So she was definitely an honorable mention to me because, like, when I was growing up, I remember seeing, like, I guess, like, the first real, like, horror movie I ever really watched was Swamp Thing. If that's a horror or sci-fi, I don't know what you want to call it. What is this all about? I didn't hear anything about Danielle Harris being a bigot. What the fuck? I agree with you on that, Pat, if that's true.
Yeah, I just found out last episode, apparently, Jesse, Vlad yelled at me when I said that she was one of the best Scream Queens because she's a bigot. I haven't been able to find too much about it. It got past me apparently in like 2021 or something.
Well, she defended
Tony Moran said some shit that was pretty offensive.
She defended a bigot.
Okay. I still haven't found much about it. I found the shit that Tony Moran said, but I didn't really find anything about her defending him or anything.
Well, she was just going on like Instagram Live when they were at conventions together. Like, he's really a nice guy. Like, I've known him for years and blah, blah, blah. Like, trying to help his image because he lost bookings. People weren't getting like autographs from him at conventions. There was YouTube videos that were popping up of stuff he said. So she was just trying to basically clear his name. I'm not saying she said she agreed with him or anything.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would pull her. She's going to stay an honorable mention for now. I love her work, and she's dedicated to the industry for sure. But I don't support bigots. So if she is one, she's gone. If not, then I'll keep her around.
Jesse, basically, he said all of his fans are like pieces of shit. He doesn't agree with the LGBTQ community. He's just said a lot of negative things throughout his career, and it caught up with him.
He's a pretty angry dude.
Yeah. I have one for you guys, though, if you're ready to hear it.
Okay.
It was hard not to put this in my top 5, to be honest with you. And we support and love you, Jesse.
Yes, we do.
So, Pete, let's talk about PJ Souls.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How did I not even think about
Candy Corn, Carrie, the original Halloween.
Yeah. The remakes.
Killer Therapy, Jawbreaker, not a horror movie, but I love that movie.
Still good.
Tooth Fairy, Death by Engagement, Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills. She's just been in a ton of movies, like a ton of horror movies.
Yeah.
And when you talk about someone who supports the horror community by going to conventions, signing, she's one of the most. If you ever get a chance to get an autograph from her or just meet her, she's the coolest, most down to earth, like awesome woman, and I will treat her forever.
Super sweet. Yes.
Man, I hate myself for forgetting to put her on a list. She's so good. List. Yeah. I love her. Yeah, she's awesome. Well, I fucked up. It happens, you know. We all can't be perfect like Vlad.
Hey, I'm not perfect. I just look good. I'm actually. Can I say one I'm surprised no one brought up?
Yes,
Linda Blair.
I love Linda Blair, but not a Scream Queen.
Not a Scream Queen. Okay.
Definitely great at being possessed, though.
What about Shawnee Smith?
I almost put her on my list. I almost did for one of my more recent ones, but she lost out to Samara and Miss Goth and Catherine. But she's definitely an honorable mention.
Jesse says Jawbreaker can stay in horror because it's similar to Heather's.
Oh, I love Heather's. Heather's is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, isn't Jawbreaker supposed to be like a loose remake of Heather's?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've seen Heather's.
Oh, you need to watch Jawbreaker. It's so good. It's a dark comedy. It could be almost considered like a horror comedy, kind of.
Which one?
Jawbreaker.
Oh yeah. Jawbreaker.
So I want to watch Heather's tonight.
What do we think about Debbie Rochon?
Yeah. Maybe not top 10.
Oh, that's fair. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
She was in a bunch of films.
Did we hear your number 5, Michelle?
It was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Well, that was your number 5? Miss Curtis.
So how many? Go ahead.
Good. So is Neve Campbell on your top 5, or is she an honorable mention for you?
For me?
Yeah.
She was my number 5.
She was your number 5.
Yeah, but like I said, she's played the same character for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And Scream
towards the end, reluctantly, but yeah.
Right. But Scream, whether we like it or not, is a definitive franchise.
Oh,
as much money
I love
as
Scream.
Most other franchises. So it's just kind of hard not to acknowledge her.
Yeah, I love the Scream franchise.
The only thing
I'm not a hater.
I probably wish I would have put PJ Souls there instead of her.
Yeah,
just because of the length of her career. But
PJ Souls definitely deserves to be on there more than Neve Campbell does. But she deserves to be there more than a couple of mine too. So.
Oh. Kathy Bates.
Yeah, that's a good one. Who posted that? Who posted Kathy Bates? Jesse. What's the call?
Well, other than what was that Stephen King movie? What was the Stephen King movie she was in?
It was the one with Paul Sheldon. as the writer. Misery.
Oh, Misery, yeah. What other
She was
like
also
horror?
in American Horror Story a lot.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, her accent in fucking the
Coven.
no the Carnival one.
Oh, yeah.
That shit drove me
Freak Show?
batshit crazy. But I got another one someone just brought up. Steve Belzer wants to know Mila Jovovich.
Hmm.
Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
was that the only series? That's the only horror series I know that she was in was Resident Evil.
Well, let's find out.
I'd put her as a final girl, but not a screen queen.
I guess Hellboy's not technically a horror movie.
No.
Resident
Neither is
Evil,
Fifth Element, but that movie rules.
Monster Hunter. She's been in every Resident Evil ever, apparently. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of horror. I mean, Resident Evil is obviously a horror movie, but outside of that, I don't see that she's done much. She is in Dazed and Confused, which is one of my favorite movies, but that's far from.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Monster Hunter. She is an all-around badass. I would agree.
Yeah.
There was someone I wanted to bring up. I'm trying to find it. Oh, collectively as a group, how do we feel about Mrs. Zombie?
Oh, I love Sherry.
Was she in your
Mrs.
top
Moon.
10?
Yeah, I guess she would fit the criteria.
Yeah. Except I mean, yeah. I don't know about her. Like I love Sherry Moon Zombie. I love all her roles.
Right.
I don't understand the hate for her at all. I don't understand why people hate on Rob Zombie for putting her in the films. I don't understand why people hate her. But does she necessarily love horror, or does she just do it because she's supporting her husband? I think she is doing it because she's supporting her husband, which is awesome. I love the fact that those two support each other so much. She doesn't go to conventions. She hardly ever signs anything. So I don't know if she'd be a screen queen, but she is fantastic. I'd put her at probably around the same place I'd put Jamie Lee Curtis. She's awesome at what she does, but I don't think she's a screen queen.
I was unaware she was in Planet Terror.
Sherry Moon?
Apparently. I don't remember that. Also in the Toolbox Murdered. 31.
Yeah, the remake, yeah.
Lords of Salem, 3 from Hell. Yeah, but I don't recall her. Oh, Night Terrors. Wow. Toby Hooper and Robert Englund.
The
1993.
mentioning that she was in Planet Terror reminds me, what do people think about Rose McGowan? Is she a screen queen?
I
don't think so. She's awesome, but I don't know if she's a screen queen.
So what? Planet Terror, Scream, Death Proof, Grindhouse, or not Grindhouse?
Death Proof is so good.
Oh yeah, Death Proof is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about a movie about like just female revenge, that movie is up there.
Have you seen The Doom Generation?
Yeah, I love that movie.
That was a great movie, and she was also in Machete.
Yeah,
and the Black Dahlia.
Machete.
Nip Tuck.
Oh, I forgot she was in Nip Tuck.
Yeah,
that's such a good show.
I love that. I had a box set at one point in my life. And I got to work with somebody who was in Nip Tuck, Robert Lasardo.
That's
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking A. I got to touch him. I got to work on set with him. Act in the same scenes.
I caressed his hair.
He's bald, motherfucker. Oh, I do have something to say though. Today is my daughter's birthday.
Happy birthday.
It is Alex, and she is 27 years old today.
That's awesome.
Yikes.
Yeah. Makes me feel old because I am old.
Yes, it does.
Can I bring up another one really quick?
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega, I feel like, is on the upswing as well.
She's on my honorable mention.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
in Insidious Chapter 2, The Babysitter, Killer Queen, Scream, Studio 666, X, American Carnage, Scream 6 or 11, I think it is. I don't know how many they have. Obviously,
They're going on 6 is the last one out. 7 is being made,
6,
I think.
okay.
Or 7 was scrapped or something. I don't know.
Obviously, the upcoming Beetlejuice. So yeah, I think she's done enough that she's on and Wednesday, obviously. But I feel like she's on could be on the up and comer list.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna be like one of those people that's too high and mighty to like do conventions and like interact with the crowd though. Like I just don't see her being like very personable with fans and stuff.
I wonder if she's gonna stay in that dark horror genre or if she's gonna move out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she'll probably move out of it.
I think any true badass horror gal could definitely get a vote just by showing up to Crypticon and hanging with us crazy fans. Agreed. Sherry has no career without Rob. She's great in her roles. Agreed.
But I don't think she wants a career without Rob. She's not. She doesn't consider herself an actress. She just supports her husband, and her husband's like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, that happens to me too. I'm not an actress. It's like, you want to do this role? I'm like, I guess.
What about Winona Ryder?
You know, you have to say yes.
You would say yes?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Stranger Things, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Black Swan, Alien Resurrection, Frankenweenie.
I love that movie.
The Iceman.
Wait, what's that? What's the Iceman?
Let's see. The Iceman is a 2012 American biographical crime film loosely based on the hitman Richard Kolinsky, who was known as the Iceman. Where am I at?
The Iceman.
Yeah, Star Trek's not a horror. Yeah, so I mean, she's done stuff for sure, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to think of things like Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice as horror. Like I get that there's a dark kind of horror ambiance or whatever, but they're mostly comedies.
Yeah, and no matter how good an actress is, you can't just call her a scream queen because she was in a horror movie. Like, I love Winona Ryder; she's fantastic, but I'm not going to call her a scream queen just because she's done a couple horror movies.
I feel stupid because Jesse brings up a great one here that I'd never considered.
Jennifer Tilly.
Fucking
Chucky. Hell yeah.
Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Chucky the TV series, Curse of Chucky.
Chucky.
You can't kick Chucky.
You can't kick that motherfucker.
You can't kick Chucky.
You can't kick Chucky.
But to be honest, that's all the only horror movies she's been in, though, too.
Yeah, she's in the same boat as Neve Campbell, except for the fact that Jennifer Tilly embraces the horror community and is a true fan of what she does, also is very good at poking fun at herself and just not taking herself too seriously. So I think she's better than Neve Campbell.
So really quick, Stephen Belcher says the question is are there any horror dudes we can say are scream queens too? They go by Scream Kings.
Scram Kings? Scram Kings.
Jesse says we're doing Scream Kings next week.
We can do Scram King.
Yeah,
no, we actually are going to have some guests on next week. I can't.
Are they Scram Kings?
Tim Curry is a Scream King, in my opinion. Thank you, Kevin. No, what's her name? Alexandria. Alex, you know what I'm talking about?
Alexi?
Is that her name?
Alexi?
Let me go to the messages. I got it.
Yeah, so Alexi and her she's got an actor and a director or writer or something.
I believe something to that effect.
Yeah. Okay.
They're going to be coming on next week, but I just want to be able to tell people what we're doing.
We're not doing Scram Kings.
We should do that the week after. We can do Scream Kings.
Yeah, I'll do some Scream Kings. Kevin motherfucking Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
So
Bacon.
next week, we are having
Sutherland.
on what's his name? John Rain, who's the director, and Jack Burner, the actor, for a film called Vampire King. Oh no, he plays the Vampire King for a film called Vampire Penance.
Yes.
So we'll have the director and what looks like the main character, or at least one of the main characters, Vampire King, for an upcoming film, Vampire Penance.
Yes.
They will be our guest next week. And then I think the following week we should absolutely do Scream Kings. Brad Dorff's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Anne Marie agrees. So yeah, I think we got to do that the week after next. Oh wait, no, I will be gone. I won't be able to shoot that night. That's right. Not this upcoming.
So
one.
the following one.
The following one, yeah.
It'll come. It'll be here.
I got a doctor's appointment, so I'll be out of Shelton for that.
Oh, until 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I got to go up north, and it's a late appointment.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all right. Scream Kings will happen. It'll be a thing. We're gonna make it happen.
Michelle, can I get a little bit of cowbell?
Yeah, I rearranged my room. Let me see if I can find it.
What's going on?
This week's episode of the Zompire Horde podcast is brought to you by Bloody Knuckle Customs. Come check us out at www.bloodyknucklecustoms.com